The villain does not arrive with a roar. It doesn't announce itself with flashing alarms. Instead, it slips quietly into bedrooms at night, into long afternoons when muscles grow tired, into walks that once felt effortless. Its weapon? A sudden, searing grip that takes hold of the leg, freezing it in agony. Leg cramps, so common we dismiss them. So underestimated we tolerate them, are the thief of sleep, the snatcher of balance, the silent saboteur of independence. Anyone who has felt one knows its cruelty. The calf tightens like a knot being yanked by unseen hands. The muscle twists as if it is turning against you, and the pain is so sharp it can bring tears to eyes that have weathered decades. In the stillness of night, a cramp strikes without warning, jerking you awake, forcing you to clutch at your leg, gasping for relief. Minutes feel like hours. You stretch, you massage, you plead with your own body to release its grip. And when it finally loosens, you lie there shaken, dreading its return. But this villain doesn't stop at stealing rest. It attacks dignity in the daylight. On a staircase, a sudden cramp can force a stumble. On a walk, it can turn confidence into hesitation. In the kitchen, reaching for a pot, it can bring you to your knees. And over time, the fear of the next strike grows heavier than the cramp itself. Fear convinces people to stop walking long distances, to avoid bending, to withdraw. In this way, the villain doesn't just seize muscles, it seizes freedom. The science reveals why this enemy is so relentless. Muscles need hydration, electrolytes, and proper blood flow to function smoothly. But with age, the body loses water more quickly. Dehydration leaves muscles starved, desperate, prone to sudden contraction. Add to this the gradual depletion of minerals like potassium, magnesium, and calcium nutrients that serve as the body's electrical balance. Without them, the signals between brain and muscle misfire, sparking cramps like faulty wires. Circulation, too, slows with age. Blood moves sluggishly, oxygen delivery weakens, and muscles suffocate under the weight of their own fatigue. Together, these forces arm the villain with three deadly tools: dryness, imbalance, and stagnation. And each one chips away at the strength that seniors once trusted. Yet the cruelty lies in how ordinary it all seems. A glass of water skipped, a meal light on nutrients, a walk delayed because of fatigue. The villain waits in these gaps, grows in these small neglects, then strikes when least expected. Doctors often dismiss them as harmless. Friends wave them off as just part of getting older. But the truth is more serious. Leg cramps are not just a nuisance. They are signals, red flags waving urgently that the body is under siege. Ignore them long enough, and the cost can be catastrophic: falls, fractures, permanent loss of independence. Consider again the nights stolen by this villain. You fall asleep exhausted, hoping for rest, only to be jolted awake at 2 a.m. Your leg locks. The cramp twists until you can't breathe. You sit up, slam your foot against the ground, desperate for release. Sweat gathers on your forehead. Your heart races. In that moment, you are not thinking of age or science. You are begging the pain to let go. And even when it does, sleep becomes fragile, haunted by the possibility of another strike. That exhaustion carries into the day, making each task harder, each step riskier. And so, the villain wages its campaign slowly but surely, draining strength, confidence, and peace of mind. Left unchecked, it convinces millions of seniors that weakness is inevitable, that frailty is their fate, that nothing can be done. This is how the thief of sleep becomes the snatcher of balance, the destroyer of independence. But villains, no matter how strong, are never invincible. History tells us every relentless force eventually meets resistance. And in this story, the first sign your body gives before a serious fall isn't in your heart or your brain, it's in your legs. Picture it. A quiet living room on a late afternoon. Sunlight streams through the blinds, golden and soft, as a grandmother rises from her favorite chair. She steadies herself, takes a step, and then suddenly her legs seize. A sharp cramp twists her calf. Her balance falters, and for a terrifying second she feels the ground pull her down. She grips the table, breath quickening, eyes wide. That moment of weakness? It's not just a cramp. It's a warning. Legs are the pillars of our independence. They carry us to the kitchen in the morning, to the garden in the afternoon, to family gatherings where stories are told in 3 languages at once. Yet too often, we don't notice when those pillars begin to tremble. Cramps at night, stiffness in the morning, a sudden spasm that steals your breath, these are not small inconveniences. They are the whispers of an enemy we underestimate. This enemy is quiet but relentless. It robs seniors of confidence, forces walkers and canes into hands that once carried children, and chips away at the dignity of movement. The myth says weakness in old age is inevitable, that it's just what happens. But that myth is a lie designed to make us accept decline as destiny. And here's the truth. The food on your plate can either betray you or defend you. What you eat could be the difference between independence and immobility, between dancing at your granddaughter's wedding or sitting silently on the sidelines, between living on your terms or being trapped by frailty. Because the story of aging isn't written in medicine cabinets alone. It's written in the choices we make every day, in the colors and flavors we invite to our tables. The villain weakness, cramps, decline creeps in when we stop believing we can fight back. But fight back we can. And the weapons? They aren't exotic, they aren't expensive, and they aren't locked away behind prescriptions. They're sweet, they're vibrant, they're the fruits we've walked past 1,000 times without realizing the power they hold. But the secret to fighting this enemy isn't in a pill bottle, it's hidden in 6 everyday fruits. Independence is not just a word. For seniors, it is the difference between a life lived with pride and a life shadowed by fear. Every step we take is a declaration. I am still here. I can still stand tall. But when the legs begin to weaken, when cramps ambush us in the quiet of the night or the middle of a walk, that independence begins to slip away like sand through the fingers. The truth is stark. According to national health agencies, 1 out of every 4 seniors will suffer a fall this year. For many, it's not just a bruise or a scare, it becomes a fracture, a hospitalization, sometimes the trigger for a permanent decline. Each fall doubles the chance of it happening again. And behind so many of these falls is the same story. The legs gave out. A cramp tightened like a vice. A weakness that went ignored became a collapse that could not be prevented. Think of Maria, a woman who came to this country with nothing but determination. For decades, she worked double shifts, raised a family, built a life brick by brick. In her 70s, she began waking at night with searing cramps in her calves. Just old age, people told her. Nothing you can do. She believed them until one morning, carrying laundry down the steps, her legs buckled. The tumble left her with a broken hip and months confined to a bed that once symbolized rest, but now felt like a cage. Her story is not rare. It is repeated in countless households, whispered in clinics, mourned at family dinners. The villain here is not loud. It does not storm in with sirens or flashing lights. It creeps. It waits. It disguises itself as normal aches, as just the years catching up. This villain thrives on our underestimation. It whispers that weakness is destiny,